How's it going? This is PM Designs. So I've been talking for a little while about my Sony 18 or 10 to 18. I'm sorry, lens that I bought 2 or 3 months ago. I finally had a good opportunity to take that lens out and really get some good time with that lens and testing that out. Mute my phone there. So one thing I noticed, and I'm gonna just go through a slideshow. As you can see, there's about 63 photos. So I just really wanted to just show what this lens, in my opinion, is capable of now. I have set this to where I can, y'all can see the histogram and everything. You see the parameters of the shot. I did go ahead and what do you call it? Kind of let Lightroom just do an auto adjust on everything. One or two of the photos, I think I tweaked it past that, but just wanted to put that out there just so that's, it's not straight out of camera, but this is raw, and then it was brought into Lightroom and adjusted that way. None of the stuff's been cropped or anything, so not that any of that matters, but now that all that's out of the way. So a lot of the stuff is a landscape stuff. Some of it's stuff in the city, or kind of city-ish, rural, I guess you could say. So you have this. This one was using the camera's panoramic feature on there, and I just set it, and then this was actually taken at the same spot that the previous photo was taken, and some of the coming photos were taken at. Just decided to say, hey, let's see. I got this wide angle lens on here. Let's see what I can get. I don't think with this. Yeah, it was shot at 10 millimeters. This one again, same location. And I really do like, the colors that this lens gives, and just that field of view. Obviously this is probably whatever size monitor or phone or whatever you're watching this on, so it's gonna be kind of a little smaller, but I mean, you have the resolution. If you wanted to print this, you could actually have a photo that kind of has a very immersive feel to it because of that. To me, that amount of area that's in the frame. More so when you get into places like this where, normally if I was shooting with a 18 to like on this camera, I would have been shooting with the 18 to 200, and I probably wouldn't have gotten, I would have gotten the road in at this width, but nowhere near, you wouldn't have gotten the trees off to the side and all that stuff. Now, some of these are just, kind of going around just taking pictures to take a picture. Some were a little bit more thought out. This is the cabin that we had stayed at. And to me, it's, just again, I mean, this parking area is not more than 20 feet away from it, but I mean, it allows you to get that full, the surroundings, the little creek off to the left side there, the cabin, the all the stuff around it. This was that creek that was off to the left side. Went ahead and that little camera stand that I made, I went and set that up and did some long exposure shots. I was just figured it was kind of early morning when I did this. This one was at 18 millimeters, but I was really trying to focus on where the water was moving around those rocks and stuff to try to get that smooth long exposure look to the rocks. And this was 8 seconds at f7.1. Wow, I thought I would have had that aperture stopped down a lot more than that. This was just something funny on one of the trees along the little hiking path that they have. More stuff from the hiking. This was probably one of the first times, or actually the first time, that I had a chance to take some long exposure shots of a waterfall. And to me, I mean, this isn't an amazing photo by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it was more just trying and seeing what I could do. As you can see, compared to that last one, I mean, I had my ISO at 100 and my aperture closed down all I could, and I still only had a 6-second exposure. So looking ahead, I do need to get some kind of neutral density filter to fit this lens, so when I do stuff like this, I can get longer exposures in brighter lighting conditions. This was, I think, whenever we were leaving the Waterfall area. This, I'm not exactly sure what little area this was, but just kind of was occupying my time taking some pictures and stuff. Actually, I haven't had a chance to, like, zoom in on any of these, but that's the one thing I really, other than zooming on the back of the camera, but you still get, even at that, hold on, there we go. Even seeing zoomed in like that, you still get a lot of usable image to be able to crop into if you wanted to do, if you had a little bit too much, or there was really something interesting in one particular part of the frame that you wanted just that part, you still have a lot of photo to work with. I think they have like a little train that runs around the area, doing little tours and whatnot. This was outside of like a little restaurant that was in between some of the buildings or something. Their little dining area. I was taking pictures out there, and I was thinking, one of the things I read was with the wide angle lenses, and it was actually in a Jared Polin video, was that try and shift where you're at taking the pictures. That's what I was trying, just to see, whereas I normally wouldn't look to take a picture like straight down, pretty much as straight down in this courtyard as I could. But I just figured, I would try something a little different and see what I could get. Again, this is the reason I got this lens. I mean, not because of a Redman billboard or anything, but the fact that being able to be on the side of this, building, which is, you can see by the size of the truck in there, this is probably the width of, 2 vehicles in between these 2 buildings. But being able to get the whole side of that building, that's really why I wanted this lens. Because normally you're probably only going to get, this chunk. Not that there's anything interesting happening over here, but just giving you that, to me, getting that more immersive feel to the image. This was in a place that sells oils and vinaigrettes and stuff like that, for cooking or salads or whatever. Once again, being able to just take that picture and having more of a feeling of everything that's in the room. Okay, why is this not like? It's kind of weird. I think it's like a little electric bike. Yeah, it says it on the building. I don't know why am I? It's kind of weird that it's not giving me the. Let's see. One of those not a clue kind of things. I want to say this was actually that same train, just on the ground level with it now. So now I feel like this is, yeah, I was cropping a little bit out of the photos. Come on, Lightroom. Work with me. So this was at that orchard place, that Mercier. I'm sure I'll be corrected in the comments. This was at their orchard area. And once again, I I'm just letting Lightroom do the auto corrections on these. Whenever I actually start and sit down to actually edit these and do all the post processing, I'll probably just tweak from where the auto setting went, and because some of these it overexposed just a little bit in my opinion, and but some of it I think did a pretty good job. Um, this one of those things where getting that little bit of lens flare right here, to me, to my eye at least, I kind of think it adds like an interesting element to it. Since right there you have that symmetry of everything, and I kind of, the more I look at the photo, the more I actually like it. um, Same kind of thing, just the symmetry and the water and everything. I probably would, maybe crop out some of that sun, but maybe just kind of crop towards right on the edge. I don't know, but to me the lens allows you to get a lot of that scenery, and it captures a really good image in my opinion. Um, this one, I same kind of thing going on here is just the level of the amount of expansiveness that you capture at that 10 millimeters versus all my other lenses stopping at 18 or 24. Just to me it granted 20 18 or so wouldn't have you still would have had a good view of the scenery, but I think you see more of the sweep of the hills and stuff like that, and stuff that you would still get at 18, like I said before, but it would just be just like this one. I mean, I think it did a decent job at underexposed, but really this just kind of breeze through these real quick. For some reason, I kind of like to take pictures when I see like textures like this, just stuff that if I want to use as like a desktop background or a phone background, or I just need a background for something, just have a good image for that. See, like this one, I kind of actually bump that exposure a little bit, kind of bring that focus on that tree. It's just, to me, as you can tell, I like this lens a lot. And just as proof to that, this was over the course of the entire vacation. I did not take the 10-18 off. I had my 18 to 200 with me, but I never once took that lens off. And this is all in that same area that the photos from during the day were taken. This is actually, we went there, left, went and ate. Or no, we didn't go eat. Went to the orchard, then we came back to eat dinner, and it was one of those like, hey, I'm gonna bring my camera with me. I'm gonna see how good this lens does at night. So this was actually the restaurant we went and ate at. Can't think of the name of it, but I was like, hey, I wonder how to get a picture of the porch, and just letting the camera just kind of do its thing with with just putting on I think night mode or handheld night shot or something. The same sign, just at night, because I thought with the light, the street lighting and stuff, it would give it a different look to it. That was shot at 15 millimeters. This one and that other one a few back are probably my two favorite ones from that night. Taking the pictures. This one you get the moon glowing through the clouds, because it was actually a full moon that night, or very close to. And this was a hike that we went and did either the following day or a couple days later. Out here, this one and a few others that you'll see, I watched another video on YouTube. can't think of who made it, but they basically were saying like, hey, check out the hidden macro mode on the Sony 10-18, and basically all it is um, disconnecting those electrical contacts. Pressing your lens release button and turning the lens a little bit so those contacts from the body to the lens aren't aren't talking anymore, and it allows you to I guess focus up very close to your subject. One was just like, hey, let's give it a try. Let's see what it'll do. Some more attempts with it. Just kind of one of those, just playing around, just seeing what it'll do, seeing what kind of interesting photos I can come up with. This supposedly, and I can't think of the name of where we were for this hike, but one of the guides are not guides, but park ranger, I guess. They were like, oh, there's a tree out there that it takes 6 grown men to be able to wrap holding hands to go around this tree. And I mean, granted, the trees were quite there was some pretty large trees, but none of them were we were expecting these massive trees, and they were big trees, but they weren't wasn't like mind blowing. This photo I just kind of like because it was probably whatever. Just the trees just growing real straight like that was kind of cool. This one here was kind of like that first one I did, where it was just the panoramic shot going, just getting as much of this in frame as I could. There would have to be a truck backing down the street. Once again, just disconnected the lens, see what kind of pictures I could get. Same thing there. This was whenever we were leaving. For some reason, I've always kind of been one to want to, hang out the window with the camera, and get some photos driving down the road. Obviously, I wasn't driving, but that's kind of, I had to do it. And then this one was whenever we were on the way home. After all this, a couple of days had passed, we'd spent some time with some family and stuff. So after we had done that, we ended up, took this on the way home. Granted, this one was at 18 millimeters, but with that rock ledge that you can see in the bottom right, and it's really just like I don't even know what to call it. Like it's like a little scenic overlook, and it's, I guess, the way handrail kind of thing to fit in with the natural scenery of rock and trees and all that stuff. So hopefully you stuck through till this point. If not, sorry to have lost you along the way. But I just really do like this lens. I like the what it's capable of. There we go. Go back to something more interesting there. To me, there were plenty of times where I'm like, I ought to throw the 18-200 on here. I haven't used this thing at all this trip, but it's like, man, I so like, having that field of view of the entire scenery, not just seeing one little area of it. And if you do any searching and stuff and you're looking at the 10-18, I don't remember what forum it was, but they had one of the people in there posted a picture, and it has a little yellow box showing, hey, this is how much, you of the frame you get at 18 millimeters, and just the difference. And it's like, wow, even like a little, like doing some street photography stuff, just, intimate shots are really nice, capturing like that moment. They're really nice, but sometimes, especially when you're out hiking or you're doing stuff, having being able to see and feel like you're there and you can look around a little bit. And there's just something about that. So yeah, I highly recommend this lens. It is a little bit pricey. You could probably find open box prices on it some places. That's actually how I bought mine. Was from, I think, from B&H or Adorama in their open box section. And to be honest with you, the lens, when I got it, looking at the packaging, looking at the lens, I don't think that lens was ever taken out of that box. So there's definitely plenty of options that you may be able to save, a couple hundred or a considerable amount. And if you're on that fence of, should I get this lens, should I not, do I want, look at rental options. Look at borrowing the lens from a friend. There's plenty of options out there that if you're not ready to make that committed purchase. And also, we are approaching the holiday time, so always keep an eye out. As much as I don't like getting junk email and sales emails, if getting on mailing lists and subscribing to companies, sometimes they'll send you coupon codes for stuff, or they'll send you a coupon code when a discount code or something that you may end up being able to save a percentage or a fixed dollar amount off of your purchase anyway. So just stuff to always keep a lookout for. So like I said, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments about this lens, or whatever, or the fact that maybe the video is just long and rambly, whatever. But I'm sure someone out there has appreciated and looked and is and is gaining something from the information in this video. If you have the 10-18 and you want to throw some links to your Flickr or your 500px or whatever, where you have your images to share with people that may be looking at buying this lens, throw that in there too. If you're looking at getting this lens, or you have this lens, what do you foresee, if you're looking at getting it, what do you foresee your use? What are you looking to do with it? And if you already have this lens, what is your favorite thing to photograph with this lens? What are some scenarios that you've been in where this having this tool in your toolbox has helped you out and helped you to get the shot that you wanted, that you wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Go out there and take some pictures.